Have you ever felt overworked, totally out of sync, or just off balance? Well, it turns out an 18th century Vietnamese physician was wrestling with that exact same idea. Today, we're digging into the timeless wisdom of a medical master known as Hải Thượng Lan Ong. Let's dive in and see how his ancient secrets might just offer us a map for our own modern lives.
So what you're looking at right here, this is a page from his incredible masterpiece. It's called the Hải Thượng Tông Thumbling, which basically translates to the comprehensive heart and understanding of the medical tradition. Believe me, this was so much more than just a book. It was the entire life's work of one of the most important figures in Vietnamese traditional medicine.
And this quote, wow, it gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? His mission wasn't about getting famous or making money. It was about something much deeper, leaving behind a clear guide, a roadmap, so that future generations could truly understand health and illness. You can just feel the care in those words.
So who exactly was the man behind this massive undertaking? Let's take a quick look at the life of the master himself. He was born Lê Hữu Trác, but he later took on the pen name Hải Thượng Lan Ong. And here's a key turning point. After a long illness completely derailed his military career, he dedicated his entire life to medicine. For more than 30 years, he just studied, treated all kinds of patients, and wrote everything down. All that work culminated in his masterpiece, a massive collection of 28 volumes and 66 books. Just incredible focus.
Okay, now we get to the core philosophy, the very foundation of his entire system. To get his approach to medicine, you first have to understand this beautiful, elegant dance of yin and yang.
At its heart, the idea is that there's a universal law at play. Everything, from the stars in the sky down to the smallest part of your body, is governed by the constant interplay of two opposing but totally complementary forces. They aren't fighting each other, they're partners in a dance.
And the way Lan Ong explains this is so intuitive. You have yin, or in Vietnamese, which is the quiet, nurturing force. Think dark, cool, passive, like water or the nighttime. And then you have yang, or zing. That's its opposite, the active, energizing force. Think light, warmth, activity, like fire or the daytime. You really can't have one without the other.
And this quote right here, this is the main event. Health isn't about getting more yang or more yin. It's about their harmony. Like Lan Ong says, when these forces are in a state of dynamic balance, when yin is calm and yang is held in check, the body is strong. And as he asks, how can illness even find a way in?
So if yin and yang are the big philosophical ideas, how do they actually, show up in our bodies? Well, Lan Ong explains this through the concepts of qi and blood, the very river of life flowing within us.
First up, we have qi. That's pronounced qi. This is the yang side of the equation. It's the life force, that invisible, vital energy that gets us up and moving. It's what warms us, powers our actions, and basically drives all the functions in our body. It's the spark.
And the perfect partner to qi is blood, or huit. This is the yin substance. It's the actual physical stuff that nourishes and moistens our body, providing the material foundation for everything. So if qi is the spark, blood is the fuel that it burns.
I love this part. Lan Ong's description of what blood does is almost like a poem. He explains that it's this physical nourishment that allows the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the hands to grasp, and the feet to walk. Every single organ, every part of us, relies on it to do its job.
Now, Lan Ong really stresses that qi and blood are completely inseparable. He uses this great metaphor. Qi is the commander that gives the orders and moves the blood, while blood is the residence that houses and nourishes the qi. You absolutely need both working in perfect harmony, the energetic command and the material foundation.
Okay, so what happens when that perfect harmony gets disrupted? How does a physician even start to figure out what's wrong? Let's look at how these principles guide the actual art of diagnosis and treatment.
The whole process is really systematic, almost like a detective gathering clues about what's happening inside the body. The physician starts by observing, looking at the person's complexion, their tongue, their overall spirit.
Then they listen to the voice, the sound of the breath. And finally, and this is a really sophisticated art, they feel the pulse, which acts like a messenger, revealing the inner state of the organs.
And the treatment isn't just throwing herbs at a problem. It's more like composing a piece of music. Take a classic formula, like Bot Phi Wan. You can see the precision. You've got one group of herbs, like Reminesia, whose job is to nourish yin, that cooling foundation. Then you have another group, like cinnamon bark, to stoke the fire and tonify yang. But, and this is so important, there's a third group to balance everything out, clearing anything extra to prevent things from getting stuck. It's an incredibly targeted approach.
And that's exactly why treatment is never, ever one size fits all. It's a responsive art. As Lan Ong writes, the key is for the physician to constantly adapt based on those subtle changes in the patient's pulse and appearance, always trying to gently guide the body back to its own natural state of balance.
And everything we've just touched on, it's all drawn from his complete work of 66 books. 66! Just think about that. The sheer scale is breathtaking. It shows this deep, lifelong dedication not just to healing, but to making sure this wisdom wasn't lost. So how does any of this apply to us today?
All right, let's bring all this home. How does this incredible wisdom from the 18th century help us navigate the complexities of our 21st century lives?
You know, Lan Ong was practicing holistic medicine way before it was a buzzword. He understood that health isn't just something that happens inside our bodies in isolation. It's a whole ecosystem. Our diet, our emotions, the balance between work and rest, even our environment. He knew that all of these things are constantly affecting our internal balance of yin and yang.
And this brings us to one of the most profound ideas in his entire philosophy. He basically reframes our whole modern definition of health. For him, being healthy is not just about not being sick.
It is the art of balance. See that? Health isn't passive. It's an active, dynamic state of being. It's a skill that we have to cultivate every single day, with our choices, constantly making small adjustments to stay in that harmonious, balanced state.
And in the end, that's what's so powerful here. When we look at ancient texts like this one, we're not just looking at history. We're looking at a living tradition. The wisdom of a master like Hải Thượng Lan Ong gives us a timeless map, a different way to think about our health, our bodies, and our place in the world.
So I'll leave you with this question. In our world, which is always pulling us toward extremes, too much work, too little rest, way too much stimulation, how can we apply this art? Where and how can you find your own balance?